How did you get started?
Well, I've had three wonderful careers, Jovanka. My first career, I was a United States swimming coach. So I was working with athletes to try to rise to their potential and break through in the pool. Then I'd probably still be a swimming coach, except for I had no life. My team became gigantic, and it was 24/7, 7 days a week. And I wanted some semblance of balance in my life. So I'm probably the only person you ever know who went to graduate school to get a life more than a job. And I did. I ended up going in my corporate career. So my second career was as a corporate. I ended up being a vice president of two large companies. And in that time, I started really my passion started to expand into that world of team building. That, one of the greatest parts of breaking through is to realize that the best thing about you and I as human beings, all of us as human beings, is that we'll do more for others than we'll do for ourselves.
Yeah.
That when we recognize that, that's one of the wonderful things I love about the breakthrough is that oftentimes it's somebody else breaking their board that just fills you up even more than your own breakthrough. And so that's when I started doing team building events in my own company. So we'd shatter those silos and turn them into synergy. And so we had a magnificent turnaround in my corporation, a pretty large company. And at the peak of it, I said to my wife, honey, we're doing great. Let's quit. I got to go do this. This is what I'm put on earth to do. And that was 35 years ago. So it's all had the same kind of primary focus, which is people. That,
Yeah.
that we have in us this capacity to make new choices, that if things are to change, I must change. And that I want to help people recognize their possibilities and start focusing on what they want instead of what they don't want.
Yeah, yeah. And what's so interesting is that your energy is protruding through the screen. And so as you speak, I'm all excited, like I love this stuff. Something about would are you considered a motivational speaker as well? Is that an addition to?
Yes, that's what I'm called. And I always joke about it because I say I'm a motivated speaker, but I've been rated one of the top 50 motivational speakers in the world. But really, I'm a motivated speaker. Motivation must be internal. So
Yeah.
I look at myself as a professional speaker, as a motivational speaker, as a spark, because it has to come from inside of you. If I can get you to open your eyes to your possibilities, if I can help you be more fully present with the people in your life in precious moments, that way you'll help people know they're important. If I can do that, be that little spark, then you can build that self motivation, which is the only kind that really matters and really lasts. But yeah, one of the things I teach is that your energy is a choice. I talk about energy, and to everyone we touch, our energy is our ultimate example. People won't remember that much of what you say, no matter how well you say it, but they'll never forget your energy. I can feel your energy coming through the screen too. That smile that radiates, lifts the screen. And when we think about that, most people think about their energy as if it's not their choice. They think of that like it's the weather. Like,
Yeah.
boy, I have enough energy to make it through those calls today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
understanding energy is a choice and how to cultivate a better choice, watch out. So I try to help people look at their energy on a 10-point scale. One is comatose.
Okay.
10 is a child on Christmas morning. 10 is the way you feel when you just nailed it. You did the best job of your life. How can you move closer up to that level 10? And there's three simple ways. We could do a whole show on it, but I'll just make them real quick. One, change the way you move. Your energy is created by the way that you move. In other words, anytime you've been at your best, you've given your best presentation, you've been your most creative, you've moved your body differently than when you've not been your best in those situations. Your body line and posture, your facial expression, your eye position, and your breathing. Now, I said that to some people before, Javanka, and they say, well, Brian, if I had more energy, I'd move more.
Right.
Ah, move more and you'll have more energy. That's the choice. So if you want to move your life, you got to move yourself. Second, even bigger key, your energy is directly proportional to your level of purpose. Whenever you're
Mm,
full of purpose, you're full of energy. You ever realize when you think about the things you love to do, energy is no problem. It
yeah.
doesn't matter how you've been sleeping or feeling. When you get to do what you love to do, it's like my grandchildren. Let me at it. When I
Yes.
joke about it, but it's true. When I'm on stage, I'm 25. When I'm off stage, okay, I'm 70 again. But on stage, I'm 25. And so focusing on purpose. How do you get there? Start every morning asking yourself, what am I truly grateful about today?
Yeah.
Start with gratitude. That will focus you on what's really important to you. Your priorities will lead you to purpose. And the
Yes.
third key to energy for most people is the tough one. Release your energy vampires. Almost
Mhm.
everyone I know says things like, I have a lot of energy, except when I get around him. I have this
Mm.
one person in my life who sucks the energy out of me. They're like my energy vampire. And I always say the same thing to those people and never say it to be harsh or cruel. I say it to set them free. If you have somebody in your life who you feel like takes your energy away, you get up, they pull you down. From this moment forward, stop it. Just stop. It's not their energy. No
Yeah.
one can take your energy from you unless you give them permission. And when you release them, suddenly you realize that you can be easy to impress and hard to offend. And that is an incredible recipe to impact others.
I love that. I love that. So it's changed the way you move. Your energy is connected to your purpose and release your energy vampires.
Yep, because
That
they don't exist unless you create them.
true, true, true. And one of the things that I'm a people person and I love people and I love speaking about energy and I love love, right? When I think and I hear you say release your energy vampires, a lot of people, those vampires are family members. Those vampires are people that are connected to you by DNA. What would you say for something like that? Of course, this is a random question, Brian, but I'm just very interested to hear.
It's a great question. And you're right. It's often people that really mean a lot to us. I thought my biggest energy vampire for a big part of my life was the same guy that was my hero growing up, called my dad.
Mhm.
Um, he was big and tough and quiet and strong. And what I wanted as a kid more than anything was from just once, my big tough daddy to give me a hug. Just
Mm.
once for him to say, I'm proud of you, Brian, or say, I
Yeah.
love you, son. But he couldn't do it. His mother died when he was 7. And my uncle told me when she died, it was as if he closed up. But I didn't
Mm.
know that. I was a kid. All I knew
Yeah.
was I wanted him to hug me, to love me, to be proud of me, but he couldn't do it. It took
Yeah.
me 31 years to finally realize that it was if things are to change, I must change.
Yeah.
You see, I had always tried to be who I thought he wanted me to be. I thought he wanted me to be like him, tough,
Yeah.
quiet, strong. It's not me. I'm a goofball. I
Yeah.
cry at openings of supermarkets. I'm terrible. Um, and I went to see him once after a 14 years of not seeing him, just running away.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm married. I had a new child, and I said, for the first time ever, I'm going to release my energy vampire. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to bring my authentic energy. One day of releasing him, all of a sudden, I realized how much he meant to me. I realized
Yeah.
how he had always told me he loved me, and the only way he knew how. He couldn't say it. He couldn't hug me, but he could work 2 jobs, so we'd have enough. Right? He could be
Mm.
tough. He thought that was love. And
Yeah.
today, my 94-year-old father is my best friend. I
Yeah.
talk to him every day. I care for him, and we've completely come through. So here's this point: that family member doesn't mean to hurt you. They don't mean to take your energy away. They
Mhm.
just think you're doing the right thing. And what's happening is you're being easy to offend. So start by asking yourself, what else could this mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it means they think that it's the only way I can really show my love is by being tough. But most of
Mhm.
all, recognize that you still have a choice. You don't have a choice of what they say, but you have a choice of the way you receive it. And if
Absolutely.
you'll be easy to impress and hard to offend, I the more you let go of that feeling that you're an energy vampire, the more they will disappear.
And it's interesting because I've always believed that everyone has a story, and once you hear the story, you're able to accept the person for who they are because they can't change their past either, which is why they are who they are today. So that's what that brought me to, is just accepting people for who they are,
Beautiful.
but also being open enough to want to hear the story, right? And accepting that
Absolutely.
we all do.
When you connect that way, and I love that you said that you love love, and I want to share with you, while we're on this incredible program, the most important words I've ever written because they're about love. And what they say is, what I wrote was, it came in an epiphany, that the love we fail to share is the only pain we live with. The love we
Yes.
fail to share is the only pain we live with. And if we don't get that now, if we don't reach out to people when we feel it and say, I
Mhm.
love you, I appreciate you, thank you, you're amazing, and we keep putting it off, we say, well, I'll do it as soon as I get all this other stuff done, then the love you failed to share may become the only pain you leave with. And that's too
Mm,
late. So that's about recognition, acknowledgement, appreciation, expression of kindness and love. So it's really a vitally, I like to call it being a world-class buddy thanker. All right.
yeah.
And really stepping up. And, when you have the moment, because you never know, you may not pass this way again, let them know how you appreciate them. Let them know how much you think of them. Let them know that you love them, that you care for them, that they've made a difference in your life. And when you do that, the amazing thing is, whenever you seek to enrich another's experience, you can't help but enrich your own.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's interesting is that what we're truly speaking about is, I guess, making sure we're okay so that we could be great leaders.
Yeah, it starts on the inside and works its way out. Before you can energize and engage anyone else, who must you energize and engage? Yourself.
Yeah.
And it starts by making decisions. That's when I'm talking about making choices. And
Yeah.
perhaps the most important choice to express appreciation, love, to help other people grow, help other people build trust, is to be fully present. Now, what that means is, and you are it on this show, you're a perfect example. People can just watch this and know what it is. When
Yeah.
you're fully present, 100% of your mind, body, and spirit is with the people you're with where they are now. Now, how many of us ever been with somebody where we know their body's present, but the rest of them is in some other county? And
Yes.
here's a tough but important question. How does it make you feel when someone you really wish to be present with you is not?
Mhm.
For most people, it makes them feel sad or small. But for everyone I've ever known, it makes them feel worth less. But when
Yes.
we are fully present, we say to that person unmistakably, unshakably, through our presence and only through our presence, you are important. You
Yes.
matter. You count. And that's our job. Leadership is about helping the people that you lead, that you serve, that you love to know they're important. Because when people feel important, they rise to, oh, yeah. And when people feel unimportant, they fall to, oh, no. So,
Yeah.
and the only way you can do it is to be fully present.
And not to mention, just the gesture in which you made when someone feels important, it's an excitement, it's an uplifting, and that's that energy you were talking about, is that having that energy to move and be excited about life, and choosing to say, I'm gonna hold on to that all day long, all day long.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Expression of what's called the Pygmalion effect. The Pygmalion effect says that our thoughts, our beliefs, and our expectations are magnetic, that we're
yeah,
actually pulling the people in the direction of the way we see them. So when you look for the best in people, guess what? What you focus on is what you create. You're igniting it in. And the same is true. You're a Pygmalion to everyone in your life, but you're especially a Pygmalion to yourself. So I know
mm,
people who look at others and lift them up, but they look in the mirror and all they see is their weaknesses and their limits. You've got to start, as you said, no one can be loved until they let themselves be seen, and no one can be seen until they learn to love themselves.
no. I love that. That was, I'm sure you don't need this, but that was beautiful. I
Oh,
love that.
thank you.
There was
Yeah,
one thing you said too, and I want to make sure that I mention this. Change the way you look at people, and the people you look at change. That
exactly.
says an ample amount of things. I mean, that's acceptance. That's loving people for just who they are. And then once they
Absolutely.
feel like, yeah, once they feel like they're loved, then they change. And I think that that is so, I mean, that was it for me.
I love it. And the reason I do the board breaking is the extension of that. When you change the way you look at people, the people you look at change. Change the way you see yourself. The self you see will change. So that's why I want people to break those boards, because I want them to see that breakthrough you. I want them to see, wow, I've got more in me than I thought. I can do this. I can go at it. I can go. So change the way you look at people, the people you look at change. Change the way you see yourself. The self you see will change.
Yes. I love that. I love that. So before we go, I want to ask you one more question. What are the greatest joys of what you do?
Oh, that is my favorite question because if you know me, every email I ever send, incidentally, has 3 words in it: joy to you. I put
Mhm.
joy to you in every email because I want to send out joyous energy. My joy is that I'm living my choices. And, many speakers, professional speakers speak because they want to get that love back. They want that standing ovation.
Mhm.
But I don't do it for them. I do it because when I'm speaking, I feel I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do. I feel a connection to God or spirit or whatever you want to call it. I feel this great sense of it doesn't matter what comes back. What matters is I'm giving what I'm here to give. And that's the greatest joy I have. That's why I can't wait to do the next program because I know I'm doing what I was put on earth to do.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.